Did you know that more than 99.9% of all species ever created have become extinct again? And that this includes a bird that would have kicked you into the afterlife? That our ancestors still encountered a King Kong in the flesh? And that there was once a frog that ate dinosaurs? Given the crazy creatures in our video, I guess we will all be glad we missed this bizarre era of evolution. Not all terror birds were created equal. While some species of these flightless creatures weigh just 5 kilos, others reached a weight of 180 kilos and a height of up to 3 meters. The physique of the Forus hasiae literally screams that we are dealing with an apex predator. This one raced through the vast landscapes of South America until 18,000 years ago, kicking its prey over the Jordan River. Yes, you heard it right, a 70-kilo terror bird could unleash a force of 2,400 newtons with a single kick. Or to put it another way, it could have inflicted the most severe bone fractures on an animal the size of an alpine ibex. Added to this was the fact that the terror birds reached breathtaking speeds. Some species may have even scratched the 100-kilometer-per-hour mark, and thus been almost as fast as cheetahs. In addition to its deadly kicks, the terror bird also relied on its massive beak when hunting. This was bent downward and was rammed like an axe into the pitiful victim. Gigantopithecus. From Yeti to King Kong, giant ape monsters exert an inexplicable allure on us. But there is one thing we must not forget at this point. Our ancestors actually still ran across such hairy giants. According to this, the age of some Gigantopithecus fossils has been dated to just 100,000 years. Many researchers believe that we are dealing with the largest ape the world has ever seen. According to this, it is conceivable that the giant primates grew to be over 3 meters tall and weighed more than half a ton. Since so far only jaw fragments and teeth were found, however, the size estimates of other experts turns out somewhat more reserved. However, even the most cautious interpretations still come to a minimum size of 1.8 meters. But what actually killed the prehistoric King Kong? Well, a recent study concludes that the giant fell victim to the changing landscape. While Gigantopithecus was previously native to densely forested areas, these gradually changed to savanna landscapes. An analysis of fossil tooth enamel revealed that the massive primates were pure vegetarians and obtained their food exclusively from whales. Ultimately, they were unable to adapt to the scarce food supply in the long run. The monster frog. Beelzebufo ampinga, or the prehistoric frog that may have even eaten dinosaurs. At home on Madagascar 65 to 75 million years ago, the devil toad possessed an extremely robust skull 20 centimeters wide and reached a length of more than 40 centimeters. Beelzebufo was thus even slightly larger than the Goliath frog, the longest frog of the present day. But what distinguished the upper Cretaceous inhabitant overwhelmingly from its croaking descendants was its unparalleled biting power. Based on the biting force of modern horned frogs, scientists calculated that the jaws of Beelzebufo could generate a force of 2,200 newtons. This is roughly equivalent to the force with which female tigers and wolves ram their teeth into prey. Against this background, it's not improbable that the primeval frogs hunted young crocodiles and dinosaurs. The bear dog. Whoever would have tried to lead the bear dog on a leash 45 to 8 million years ago would have had bad cards. The members of this extinct predator family could weigh up to 450 kilograms. However, it was a long way to this proud fighting weight. The first representatives of the bear dog were not much bigger than a chihuahua. Christened with the scientific name Amphicyonidae, the creatures belong to the first known large carnivores in the history of Earth. From the fossil finds, it is clear that the bear dogs appeared first in North America before they spread over Europe and Asia and Africa. The fact that the predators became larger and larger in the course of the time had both advantages and disadvantages. On the one hand, it enabled them to hunt ever larger prey and climb to the top of the food chain. But on the other hand, the evolutionary mass phase also meant even higher energy requirements and slower reproduction. Incidentally, the fact that the extinct carnivores are known as bear dogs is due to the fact that researchers initially did not know whether they should rather be classified as bears or dogs. Nowadays, however, they are classified as a family of their own. Titanoboa. One of the largest and heaviest strangler snakes in the world, the anaconda can grow up to 9 meters long, which still makes it 5 meters shorter than the extinct Titanoboa. With a dead weight of over a ton, there was practically no animal that the slithering colossus could not eat 58 to 60 million years ago. Accordingly, the largest known snake on the history of the Earth may even have swallowed adult crocodiles. Interesting to know, it was not long ago when such large snakes were still considered pure fiction in research. This only changed when the first dorsal vertebrae of the Titanoboa were found in the Colombian Amazon in 2009. However, the sheer size of the giant snake can not only tell us something about the impressive outgrowth of nature, but also a lot about the climatic conditions of prehistoric times. Due to the enormous body length, an average annual temperature of 30 to 35 degrees is assumed for the habitat of the snake. Therefore, it must have been clearly warmer at that time than before assumed. The crowned crocodile. Although his skull was adorned by an outgrowth reminiscent of a natural crown, Estemenopsuchus was not the king of crocodiles. That title, according to our current knowledge, goes to Sarcosuchus, a 4-ton, 12-meter-long armored lizard that may even have eaten dinosaurs. Discovered in the Ural Mountains and touted as a crown crocodile, Estemenopsuchus 250 million years ago actually had more in common with a hippopotamus than a giant reptile. With a length of 4 to 5 meters, this was true for both body size and general lifestyle. Arthropleura. Who already gets the crisis with modern creepy crawlies must now be especially strong, because the next giant millipede from prehistoric times effortlessly outshines even its largest descendants. While the enormous arthropod lived in the forests of the Carboniferous about 300 million years ago, it could grow up to 2.5 meters long. Equipped with thick armor plates, Arthropleura's body was perfectly tailored for hunting amphibians and other prey. However, since no completely preserved fossil has been discovered so far, the exact structure of the mouthparts remains unknown. Most of the remains, however, are not fossils in the classical sense. For example, experts usually do not recover bodies preserved after death, but rather fragments of the outer shell that the giant millipede shed during its lifetime while molting. Platodon. You've always wondered what it would look like if an elephant's trunk was also its mouth. No problem, the Platodon gives you the answer. The fact that the pachyderm, which became extinct around 10 million years ago, is also known as the shovel-toothed elephant is no coincidence. The grotesque outgrowth, which looks like a wild mix of mouth and trunk, actually looks like a natural shovel tool with its flat, wide texture. The wear patterns on the teeth indicate that elephants' relatives use the lower tusk to pull the bark off trees. The sharp incisors that form the edge of the shovel may in turn have functioned as a type of scythe. Platodon used the body's own tools to cut branches. With a length of 6 and a height of 2.8 meters, the animals, which weighed up to 4.5 tons, probably gathered in large herds. Dayon. I don't know about you, but doesn't the Dayon kind of look like a wild boar having fun with a hyena? Even the official name shows that we're not completely off the mark with this ironic guess. The original name, Dinosaurs, means nothing else than terrible pig. Before Dayon disappeared forever from the earthly scene in the early Miocene, it reached a body length of 3 and a shoulder height of more than 2 meters. The most striking feature, however, was his enormously large, massive skull, compared to which his brain was rather puny. Although Dayon weighed well over a ton, the structure of his long, slender limbs suggests that he was an excellent sprinter. And although the massive jaws could easily grind bone, the prehistoric pig probably also fed on plants. The floppy-eared monster. Located in Yoho National Park in the Canadian Rocky Mountains, the Burgess Shale is one of the most important fossil deposits in the world. Recently, researchers were once again able to see for themselves that the area sometimes spits out adventurous prehistoric creatures that go beyond any known scheme. What became known on the web as the floppy-eared monster has the scientific name Balahucarus voltae and describes a gigantic bivalve arthropod. Basically, the creature resembles modern-day crustaceans, except for the unique outer carapace that stretches across its front like the floppy ears of a dog. Most bivalved arthropods known to us are smaller than 10 centimeters. Against this background, Balahucarus' size of 24.5 centimeters seems more than remarkable. This prehistoric giganticism shows that the arthropod must have explored different ecological niches. But the most surprising thing for researchers is the amount of questions the creature raises. In addition to the strange carapace, these include the bean-shaped eyes and the large number of body segments, which is unique to Cambrian arthropods. Fancy learning more about the wackiest creatures of all time soon? Then hit subscribe and never miss a new video again.